Good morning, everyone. Merry Christmas and all that. Hope you're doing well. Sincerely mean that. My name is Patrick Young. I live in Fresno, California. I've been an activist for basically about 40 years, since I was 25. I read a report on nuclear waste storage. I think I was 19 right out of the Army. I was horrified, so I became an anti-nuclear activist for many, many years. So I'd like to address the topic of homelessness. And once again, I've got credentials up the butt to prove my intent, my dedication. I saw homelessness in Fresno. I was horrified, and I assumed that people are homeless because they lost Social Security check, and they got behind the rent. They were put out. So I broke my heart. So I don't F around. I went to the big box stores. I would buy shopping carts of sleeping bags and give them away for free, of course. And I would put my phone number on my home phone and say, if you have a problem with the police, just call me. I'll intervene directly. I made contact with the Fresno Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant, should I forget his name? I made contact with lieutenants in the Fresno PD and the Sheriff's Office and said, if you're gonna go rouse somebody, call me first. I'll see if I can go talk to them. So I started out by just giving away food and sleeping bags and various donations. If you think you understand homelessness, you probably do not. But the way just like when I worked in Nicaragua, when the war was going on in Nicaragua, I said, I want to go see it in person. I'm not going to read. I read a lot of books, of course, a lot of fine books. Gene Didion's Children of Cain. I've read thousands of books. I'm a school teacher, and yo hablo español. He hablado español por más que 20 años más o menos. También yo enseñé español al Fresno High por 3 años a los niveles básicos. ¿Me entiendes? I speak Spanish with fluency. I learned from the streets. I also spent a year behind bars as a kid. I spent a year in juvenile and several months in Fresno jail, and also institutionalized unfairly for mental health. My mental health, I'm sane rain, so kiss my ass. But getting back to homelessness, they're homeless because they're mostly troubled people and frankly assholes, buttheads. I like motorcycles. I had 3 of them. 2 Yamaha. I love Yamahas. I've had 4 Yamahas and probably 8 Hondas. I gave all the Hondas away to Nicaragua, Salvador, Haiti, etc. But I had 3 bikes. I really like my daily transportation. All were gone. They all were stolen. I let the homeless know that I was going to the Philippines, and they promptly came over and stole everything I owned. I had a wonderful wood and metal shop. When I got back, everything was gone. So the homeless aren't homeless because of some tragedy, boo fucking who. They're homeless because they're jerks. There's a reason why their own family won't take them in, because they're thieves. Because they're lowlifes. You'll find a lot of them are ex-convicts. Released from prison, they'll play. Oh, I'm sorry to introduce my chicken, Chucky. Chucky, say hi. Chucky is my mainstay. Sorry, Chuck. So the homeless that I've experienced, mostly at Kings Canyon and Fresno, I used to buy a 12-pack. Say, hey, Mark, can I get a beer? We would all drink beer in the corner and just socialize. I would buy, they basically stole stuff from Walmart nearby. But I would buy, things just to help them out. I didn't need any more air tools. Got plenty of air tools. I helped them every possible way. I gave rides all over Fresno to people. My low-life ex-roommate, Casey, when he got popped in the face and broke his glass, I got him new glasses. On and on and on. I offered them work. I have a large house and I have a third of an acre and a very large front yard and backyard. I said, how many of you would like to work? I'll start you off at 13, 14 an hour, increase by $1 every day, which I think is fair. Who took me up on it? One person. Didn't do shit. Spent most of the time mumbling, stumbling. He spent most of his time on my couch watching TV 24/7. I had to make him leave. Had another guy from the liquor store in the corner. He was going to weed eat my backyard. But it don't work very well with no string, huh? You run weed with no string. Just making noise, all he's doing. I took him and his wife. His wife had a heart attack when she was here. They brought 7 or 8 Chihuahuas. They were living next to the canal on McKinley, so I felt that was terrible. I brought them into my home. There were 7 Chihuahuas, shit everywhere. But they were extremely cute. I used to cut up jack cheese and have Chihuahua fun. Little mob Chihuahua. It was fun. But they were troubled people. And the trouble that they had was of their own inclination. I went out one night, came back. It was my whole house completely dark. I have plenty of lights. I came in the kitchen with no light on. His wife, common wife, was cooking a cast iron frying pan completely full of oil and I think gizzards, chicken giblets, on full blast in the dark, ready to start a fire. I said, I couldn't find lights, so I said, you can't do that. You know me, I'm a grown up. I think you are. And so, and that understands. So the shards, were homeless. Has someone to take moving homes. I think is where someone can your home and then sue you for back rent. Only regular idiot liberals support that. Come the fuck on. If I come back from home, there's 12 people they pass the plate, and I want to get out to my house. Only people saw that they get healthy old bikers going to baseball. I'll be the same. If you're deep in the neck, choke out the front door. Don't even think about it. Literally in America, my favorite president is FDR. Fear, but fear. I like Truman somewhat. I like Eisenhower criticized in military industrial complex. Eisenhower was a decent man. Kennedy, I think Kennedy, let's see if one wait. Let's see, Jimmy Carter guy. Kennedy, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Obama, but I also see the he booed Trump. And Hillary Clinton did a goddamn thing about rights abuses in Central America. Purdue. Congressman Rick Lehman and Jim Costa, who also don't give a flying fuck. They're phonies. That's how most liberals I've met in my life. The liberal lawyers in Fresno are just shit talkers, ambulance chasers. You hear them talk about you, Payson Milrod, right in your face. But her husband's a nice guy. I like Paul a lot. But Payson's, you're phony as fuck. When I asked Payson for help with my court case, Payson's just got on the phone and screamed at me. I had Jacob Weisberg. I had Jason $2, but I can do nothing. For liberals, none of them live in poor neighborhoods, except a couple of Latinas I know. Most of them live way north in beautiful big homes. Very well. I used to be broke, right? I can't are both Texans. I'm proud I spent money on for this franchise for that started in Nicaragua. I worked in Haiti I did 4 trips to Haiti. Never had any serious problem. No police would hassle me. Me and my friend Pierre, good Lord, I sent a lot of money to Haiti. I support President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. When Aristide had a coup instigated against him by the U.S. CIA, etc., they told Aristide, hey, we're going to protect you. The United States had a bunch of armed thugs on the Dominican Republic border. And I let the word go. I met Phil Redder. I met Lieutenant Colonel Ferlinger, who led the U.S. coup against the Cobar Bands of Guatemala. Arbenz was a good man. He was a general. And he had told United Fruit, Chiquita Bandas, you paid like 9 cents an acre for this huge amount of land you had for 50 years or so. So I'm giving it back to the poor. I'm going to pay you 9 cents an acre. That's what you've been paying for, ain't that fair? So the U.S., now this is why I have qualm with Eisenhower and John Foster Dulles and Allen Dulles. John Foster Dulles was the lawyer for United Fruit, and Allen, let me think. I'm trying to be exact here. John Foster was a lawyer for United Fruit, and Allen Dulles was a major stockholder in Chiquita. So when they saw that their toys, their source of wealth was being given back to the poor, they instigated the coup against Jacobo Arbenz in '54 and set up propaganda outlets on the northern border of Guatemala and the southern border too. They had terrorists, U.S. sponsored terrorists, put propaganda out. You're being invaded, and Arbenz fled the country. And they installed Colonel Castillo Armas. Colonel Redinger calls him what do you call? He called him a ferret-faced weasel. It's a good description. And Guatemala then had the largest scale massacre in the Western Hemisphere. They killed 250,000 Guatemalans. The United States has never supported human rights except when it benefits us. The United States, with the CIA connivance, has worked with major drug traffickers, most of it since the 50s. Let's see, the first time was with the, this goes back. I think the first time with the Chiang Kai-shek. Chiang Kai-shek was, of course, the warlord in China. And when he lost to Mao Zedong, he tried to finance his return with opium. Second time I recall would be the South Vietnamese government, the Nguyen Cao Ky and Nguyen Tu. They use U.S. cargo aircraft to do this triple thing. They would import opium from Laos and Burma, send it down to Singapore, Hong Kong, refine it into morphine base, and eventually heroin. Ships back to Saigon and give it to the GIs. Let's see, the third time was when Ronald Reagan and his boys, Oliver North, fuck you, Oliver North, they work with the Nicaraguan Contras and Freeway Ricky Ross to import massive amounts of cocaine in the United States. That's how they try to fund the Contra War. The fourth time I recall is when the United States, I believe, to further our interest in Afghanistan, work with the Afghan poppy growers to import Afghan heroin all over the world and fund that war. Have no illusions about who our rulers are. I am a patriot. I don't love anything except for people. But I like the country. I've been all over the world, and this is a pretty good place to live. I've done well here. Once again, I have 3 college degrees. I have basically an AA in electronics, an AA at City College, a BA Fresno State in the social sciences, economics, poli-sci, etc. And I have what's equivalent of a master's. The teacher program was a bullshit. It's an awful program. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not bullshitting you. And I'm sincere. Most people just talk the talk, do not walk the walk. I've walked the walk since I was 20, in my early 20s. I'm almost 70 now. I've sacrificed my health. I'm broke. I have no money. Only I stay at my home. I have 3 cars, driveway, none of them run, and at my age, I'm riding bicycles to work because the driver came loose. So please don't ever have any questions or qualms about my sincerity. I try to give. In my room, I have it full of water, 100 bottles of medicine, gauze, tape, music instruments, toys. I intend to take that. I tried the Philippines last year. I sent 4 laptops, 20 cell phones, and about 300 pounds of med supplies. It all got off. Pretty much. Some stuff at the hospital actually arrived, but all the Filipinos I work with are just thieves. that's endemic in the country. I feel sorry, but you made your bed, Filipino, so you lay in it. You are pretty scummy people. Your presidents and your Congress are Marcos, follow Marcos. So Juan Ponce and Relay, Fia Ramos, remember Marcos? Filipinos like to have some illusions that they're freedom fighters because after goddamn 20 years of Marcos, they finally, and they didn't overthrow Marcos, the CIA did. Marcos did not kill Benigno Aquino either. Benigno Aquino was killed by his assassination was a setup to get rid of Marcos. It's mentionable that all the men who were security at the airport when Aquino was killed, they were all jailed for life, so they couldn't talk about what they saw. So Filipinos, don't break your arm or pat yourself on the back. Oh, we big freedom fighter. No, you're not. You're fucking cowards. I know where I speak. I lived in the Philippines for 19 years. Davao City, 14 years, in Ecoline neighborhood. From Baguio, Manila, oh shit, so many cities I can't remember. Surigao, Cagayan de Oro, Bacolod. For AC from the north to the south, I've been all over the Philippines. And I speak a little bit of Tagalog, like Malha Kita, Isa Dalaw Tala Palima, Tamana! Etc. My Filipino is passable because it's very mixed up with Spanish. Okay, I think I'm rambling now, so I have an obligation to cut it off. I hope you get some wisdom from what I've shared with you this evening. And Merry Christmas and all that good stuff. Bye-bye.